조명 올려!
The series starts on a quiet night. Inside a parked car, a man finishes a short phone call, then calmly gets out and walks toward the empty Gyeonggi market. This man is Director Cho, a top official in Korea's National Intelligence Service. He is not here to shop. It is a secret meeting, and a few bodyguards follow him. He arrives in an old fabric shop hidden in a quiet corner. Inside, Madame Won waits. She used to be an agent, but now runs a small shop. Their talk is serious. But the real reason for their meeting soon appears. Madame Won has been Ko's main informant for years. Now her network has been destroyed one by one. She's the next target because she knows too much about a secret project that no one should mention. Before leaving, Madame Guan tells him about a vault. It is a container with top-secret data being sent from Sweden. She warns him to hurry if he wants to reach it before others do. Cho stays calm. He says his team is already ready. Then, a name comes up, Chai Song-min, who once worked on secret projects. Guan says his daughter, Chai Jackong, could be the only person who can open the vault. She is very smart with codes and computers, able to break digital security easily. But Cho is unsure. He heard that Jackong is smart, but also unstable. She might have a serious mental illness and maybe split personality. Suddenly, two men in black come from a nearby alley. One bodyguard tries to stop them, but is knocked down with a punch and slammed into the wall. Another tries to draw his gun, but his wrist is twisted and he falls to the ground. More guards come quickly, but the intruders are fast. One guard is kicked into a pile of crates. Another is knocked out with a strong elbow to the neck. In a few seconds, it is done. All of Madame Guan's guards are down. Madame Guan looks at Cho and says this is their last meeting. If he wants to live, he must leave now. Seconds later, the fabric shop door opens fast. Madame Guan's guards quickly raise their weapons, ready to fight the two intruders who just stepped inside the danger zone. This is just the beginning of a deadly game. Welcome to the Tyrant. The scene changes to a quiet funeral home where a girl is mourning her father. This is Chai Jackong, but behind her calm face hides a dangerous secret. Flashback to a few days before. Jackong drove to the industrial site where her father's body was found. Without hesitation, she got out and fired many bullets at the gangsters guarding the place. Every shot was quick, accurate, and deadly. She cleared the area like a skilled fighter. She then walked to a parked car, opened a bag inside, and froze. Her father's dead body was there. She knew it right away by the tattoo on his arm. It turns out Jackong was more than just his daughter. She was his only family. Since she was a child, Song-min trained her to be a killer like himself. He was a secret agent and contract assassin and taught her everything he knew. Inside her car, Jackong quietly looks at a photo of a beach house, the peaceful life she and her father once dreamed about. At the funeral, a man named Yun Mo-young places a flower down. He is a field agent from the National Intelligence Service. He sits beside her, skips the usual condolences, and invites her to meet him later at his restaurant. Mo-young knows exactly who she is and what she can do. He offers her a secret mission that needs her special skills. Later, Jackong goes to the restaurant, which is actually a secret operations base hidden as a diner. She eats calmly, while Mo-young explains the plan. A foreign shipment will arrive tomorrow night, locked inside a Swedish vault. She will have only 5 minutes to get the case. Mo-young trusts she can do it. He offers her money up front and promises more after the job is done. But as soon as Jackong touches the money, her mood changes. She refuses the payment. Her split personality appears. She accuses Mo-young of being a double agent. Mo-young stays calm. He reminds her that without him, her father's body would still be lost. He knows she needs the money, and this mission might be her last chance to get out safely. Most importantly, it is connected to her father's legacy. After thinking for a moment, Jackong finally agrees to take the mission. The next night, Mo-young and his team stop the shipment with a strong attack. In seconds, every enemy was hit with perfect shots. Only one man fought back, Professor Jonas from Sweden, who was in charge of the shipment. But he was quickly stopped by a single bullet. After Jackong opened the vault and took the case, Mo-young arrived and praised her perfect work. Then, without warning, he pulled a gun and shot her at close range. Thinking she was dead, he threw her body into a nearby river and disappeared. At the same time, Jo Soo, one of Director Ko's agents, rushed to Mo-young's restaurant to pick up the shipment. When he arrived, Mo-young calmly gave him the steel case and handed Jo Soo a set of handcuff keys, saying Jackong was dead and everything was under control. Mo-young asked for payment, but Jo Soo wanted to check the case first before leaving. Before Jo Soo left, Mo-young offered him coffee, but Jo-soo refused. Then Mo-young asked for a favor, hoping that Director Cho would give him a desk job. Jo-soo said he would tell Cho and then drove away. While driving, Jo-soo called Director Cho and got new orders to kill Mo-young and his whole team. Back at the restaurant, Mo-young felt something was wrong. His instincts told him that someone from Ko's team had joined his group secretly. He quickly killed the traitor and told his men to hide and disappear. Far away, deep in the forest, Jackong was still alive. Hurt and angry, she took out her cigarette pack but found it empty, which made her even more upset. But there was more. She had taken the steel case's contents before Mo-young betrayed her. Hidden in her jacket was a strange tube with black liquid that moved by itself. It was something unusual. She closed it up and limped away. Not far from there, a car drove fast on a quiet road. Inside were two criminals known for kidnapping drunk women at night. This time, they had a woman tied up in the back seat. She begged for her life and promised not to tell anyone. One of the men got out to take a break. Before leaving, he told the other man to finish the woman. While lighting a cigarette by the roadside, he heard footsteps. He turned and saw Jackong. She silently picked up his dropped cigarette and smiled coldly. She grabbed a stick from the ground, ready to fight. Back in the car, the second kidnapper was about to kill the woman when suddenly the window broke. He jumped and looked outside to see his partner's body on the ground. He panicked and got out to check, but before he could react, the car sped away. Jackong was now driving, already gone. Inside the car, Jackong sees the scared woman still tied up in the back seat. Without hesitation, she turns the car around and drives straight back to the last kidnapper. She finds him crawling on the ground, barely alive. Calm and cold, Jackong walks over, gives him a final smirk, and ends his life.
야, 내가 할게, 내가. 내가 뭐 이상해?
The rescued woman watches everything and quickly runs away, not looking back once. Jackong lets her go. Then, Jackong gets back in the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives forward, crushing the kidnapper's body to make sure he is dead. Inside the car, she finds a pile of cash and a phone left on the seat. She takes the phone, turns it on, and makes a call without hesitation. At this point, she is done being careful. Her next plan is to find Mo-young and make him pay. Meanwhile, at the National Military Intelligence Agency, Director Sa waits for NIS Chief Lee. Chief Lee arrives in his official car and goes straight inside. As they walk, Director Sa shares bad news. There was a problem during shipment, and the target item is missing. Chief Lee is angry. He yells at his team and orders them to follow him upstairs on foot. On the way, Sa quietly tells him that the information points to Director Ko's field team as the likely thief. Inside the NIS, two strong groups are fighting for power, one led by Chief Lee, the other by Cho, who is said to want Lee's job. The missing item is very important. It gives Lee power. If the wrong people get it, Lee will lose everything. Worse, Director Paul from the U.S. will not accept failure. Under pressure, Chief Lee tells Sa to arrange a meeting with Cho. Lee does not have proof yet, but plans to trap Cho into revealing something. Meanwhile, Director Cho works on his own plan. He picks up Professor No, a scientist who worked with Professor Jonas, who is thought to have died during the theft. Cho tells No the truth. Jonas is alive and being taken to a safe house. The car is moving farther from the city. Then No realizes Cho does not want to protect him. Cho plans to kill him and sink the car in the ocean. For Cho, the fewer people who know about the serum, the safer he will be. On the other hand, in Luzon, Philippines, Director Paul, the U.S. intelligence head for Asia, watches a troubling viral video. It shows a secret experiment from the NIS lab in Sweden. The substance looks more like a virus than a performance serum. Angry about the leak, Paul wonders why South Korea would make something they cannot control. Surrounded by his guards, he punishes some people as an example. Several people are tied up and forced to stand. Paul coldly orders his men to stab them one by one, sending a harsh message. After the executions, Paul walks away without showing any emotion. Before getting in his car, he says he is flying to Korea. He is done giving orders from afar. This time, he will take charge himself. The scene shifts to a quiet farming village just before dawn. An old man gets into his pickup truck and drives to his field to deal with hawks that attack his crops. The dirt road passes through farmland covered in fog as he prepares to work. He sets bait and waits at the edge of the field while smoking a cigarette. It is calm until he hears a noise from the woods behind him. He grabs a stick and carefully moves toward the sound. The noise gets louder. Deep in the trees, he sees glowing eyes staring at him. Fear takes over. He turns and runs, but the creature chases him quickly. The man falls hard to the ground. As the monster jumps at him, sunlight shines through the trees. The creature's skin burns, blisters, and then suddenly explodes. Black liquid sprays from the blast and splashes onto the old man's face. He screams and crawls away as the creature burns completely in the morning sun. Later, a car arrives in the quiet countryside. Out steps Lim Sung, who says he is a reporter from the Swan newspaper. A woman answers the door. Lim Sung introduces himself and says he wants to ask about the strange event involving her husband. Inside, the old man who survived the earlier attack lies in bed, paralyzed. Since that attack, he cannot move. Lim Sung looks around, takes notes, and gets ready to ask more questions. When Lim Sung shows the old man a photo of the creature, the man panics and clearly knows it. Then Lim Sung stops pretending. He is not a reporter, but a contract killer working for the Korean National Intelligence Service. After his questions, he calmly puts on a face shield, pulls out a pistol, and shoots the woman. She barely reacts. He then turns to the old man and finishes him. Black liquid flows from the body and splashes on Lim Sung's visor. He checks carefully, sees no one is watching, and burns the house down. Outside, he washes the blood under a faucet, cleans his shoes, and walks back to his car as if nothing happened. Even though he is retired, when Director Cho orders, he obeys. Plus, he still needs money for his dream house repairs. In his car, he checks his phone. A new hit list shows Mo Young and his whole team. Lim Sung closes the phone, starts the engine, and drives off to complete the mission. Meanwhile, in a secret underground clinic in Seoul's Hongdong area, Dr. EM is treating Jackong. This clinic is a known place where mercenaries and spies get medical help without questions. Dr. EM, clever and greedy, treats her wounds but takes the chance to steal the serum tube hidden with her things. After the treatment, he leaves her sedated and calls Mr. Song, an underground broker, to ask if there is a reward for her. Mr. Song is shocked. He thought Jackong was dead. He says Mo Young would pay a lot if he knew she was alive. Dr. EM says she is barely alive after a headshot. Song agrees to report and share the reward. At Director Ko's secret base, Manager Joe arrives with the steel case. In the war room, his team reports Jackong's location at the illegal clinic. The order is to kill her before Director Sa's team arrives. But things go wrong. Jackong wakes up earlier than expected. At that moment, Ko's agents break into the clinic. They first throw an axe in a Dr. EM's skull. They rush to the operating room, but find it empty. Suddenly, Jackong jumps out and stabs one attacker in the stomach. Their leader says she will end up like her father. Hearing this makes Jackong fight harder. She grabs an axe from the floor and throws it, hitting one attacker's shoulder. Then she follows with a strong knee, kick, and chest stab. A third attacker comes from behind. She blocks him, slams him into the wall, and hits his face with the axe handle until he is unconscious. The leader tries to draw his gun, but it is too late. She cuts his hand, punches him hard, and finishes him with one clean hit. After making sure the room is safe, Jackong finds Dr. EM dead. She quickly treats her wounds, searches his cabinet for fresh clothes, and changes. She finds the stolen serum, puts it away carefully, and quietly leaves. Outside, she sees a delivery truck, takes it over, and drives away. Meanwhile, at Director Ko's secret base, his tech team is still trying to unlock the encrypted steel case. They say it will take about 48 more hours to break the security. Then, they get an urgent message that Jackong's location is unknown. Meanwhile, Lim Sung moves on to his next target. He is at a horse racing track, aiming for Kuin-gu, a close ally of Mo Young. After placing some bets, Kuin-gu returns to his car and finds his girlfriend dead in the passenger seat. In the back seat, Lim Sung waits calmly with a knife ready. Lim Sung mocks Kuin-gu for gambling while the world is falling apart. Then suddenly, he punches Kuin-gu and forces him to drive. Elsewhere, at a quiet roadside diner, Director Cho is smoking and eating bread when Director Sa arrives for a meeting. Sa demands the return of the stolen item. Although they work for the same agency, they're in a power fight. Sa says the stolen item is part of a secret Swedish project and tells Cho that the agency is starting an internal investigation. If Mo Young and his team are caught, Cho will be blamed. Sa offers a deal, return the item, and the problem will be forgotten. Cho pretends not to know anything. He says he did nothing wrong and warns Sa that the Americans helping him might not be loyal. They will leave him when he causes trouble. Sa is angry and clenches his fists, but Cho stays calm. He stands up, ignores Sa, and says if Sa wants to blame someone, he needs proof. Cho walks out, leaving Sa furious. Quietly, Sa vows they will find Mo Young no matter what. In an old train car used as a secret hideout, Lim Sung is calmly torturing Kuin-gu. Kuin-gu is tied to a chair, covered in bruises and blood. Lim Sung is not angry or shouting. He talks calmly, sipping a drink like they're having a normal chat. Lim Sung says after retirement, he bought this train car with his savings. It became his home, but it costs a lot to keep it. That is why he had to return to his old work. Koen-gu is the first visitor in his new home, and unlucky because he is on the hit list. Lim Sung pulls up a map on his phone and shows Koen-gu a marked spot, asking if it is where Mo Yong's allies hide. Koen-gu nervously confirms it is true. But there is more. Lim Sung shows photos of Koen-gu's family and warns that if the information is wrong, his family will be next. Cornered and scared, Koen-gu nods frantically, knowing it won't save him. Lim Sung raises his gun, shoots once, and it is finished. Elsewhere, at Director Ko's facility, Manager Joe is getting impatient because the steel case is still locked. One technician explains that testing each code takes many hours. They now think someone changed the code by hand before the case was taken. It'll take at least another day to open it. Meanwhile, Jackong arrives at an old, empty restaurant. But this is not just any place, it's one of Mo Yong's old safe houses. She goes inside easily and starts checking for dangers. She goes to the kitchen, picks up some knives, and chooses the sharpest ones. She hides them in her jacket. Then a police car drives by and notices the stolen truck outside. Not wanting trouble, Jackong quietly leaves through the back and runs away on foot. Down the road, she sees a gas station. A car is parked there, and the driver is in the restroom. She quickly puts a flyer on the car's back window to block the view. When the driver comes out and tries to remove it, Jackong jumps into the car and drives off quietly. Later that night, near Seoul Tower, a convoy arrives. Chief Lee and Director Sa get out and head to a private meeting with Director Paul. Paul is already there, watching everything from above with binoculars, in full control. As soon as they sit, Paul starts blaming Chief Lee for failing to protect the shipment. Lee tries to blame Cho, but Paul doesn't believe him. Calmly, Paul suggests Lee should resign, saying Lee no longer has the skill to fight someone like Cho. Lee argues, but it does not help. He has lost his power. By the end of the meeting, Paul makes it clear Lee's time is over. Sometime later, in Namdong, Incheon, Jackong drives into a quiet industrial area. She parks in an empty spot, buys a drink from a vending machine, and walks calmly toward an old factory. She climbs to the upper floor and knocks on a metal door. A man with a Russian accent answers. Jackong asks for someone named Hangum. The man says he doesn't know anyone by that name, and tells her to leave. Without hesitation, Jackong strikes him cleanly and steps inside. Inside, Hangum is at a table, playing cards with two other Russian men. When he sees her, he panics. He reaches for a hidden gun, but she is faster and already aims her weapon at him. Knowing he is outmatched, Hangum freezes and signals her to sit down. The two Russian men don't take Jackong seriously. They tease her, make rude jokes, and start bothering her, thinking she is an easy target. Hangum tries to explain who she is, but that only makes them more arrogant. They insult her late father and laugh about the reward on her head. One even says it's a shame to kill someone so pretty. Hangum stays quiet, looking tense. He knows how dangerous she really is. Jackong isn't here to talk. She's here for weapons. Hangum opens his supplies. She picks a pistol and asks for bullets. He hesitates and asks for payment first, but his fear wins. He quietly gives her the bullets while reaching for a hidden gun nearby. As she checks the bullets, the two Russians tease her more. But they go too far. Hangum senses trouble and tries to warn them to stop. It's too late. Jackong pulls out her pistol and quickly shoots both men. She then turns and shoots the rest of the room with calm, precise shots. In seconds, only she and Hangum are left. Hangum is now begging for his life. He blames the Russians and says it was all a mistake. Jackong does not believe him. She shoots him in the leg and starts torturing him for answers. When he finally breaks, she takes his phone and forces him to call Mo Yong. He tries to stall and make excuses, so she shoots him again. This time it works. Hangum tells the truth. Mr. Song from Paradise sold her out to get the reward, and Mo Yong is hiding in Busan. That is all Jackong needs. She puts one last bullet in Hangum and walks away. The next morning, Director Cho sits quietly by a lake, painting the view. Soon, Paul arrives and sits beside him. Paul gets straight to the point. He wants the item Cho took to be returned. He says it won't be used in Korea and is for global safety. Cho stays calm and asks which item Paul means. Paul doesn't answer clearly, just laughs and warns that if the item isn't found, his career could be ruined too. Before things get tense, Paul invites Cho to lunch. Meanwhile, in Seoul, Lim Sung walks out of a convenience store with snacks. A little kid bumps into him, dropping his food. Lim Sung doesn't react. He picks up the food, cleans it, and keeps walking, focused on his next target. He soon sees the apartment building. Calmly, he enters, checks the area, and goes to the target floor. Without hesitation, he pulls out his weapon and shoots through the door, killing everyone inside with perfect skill. One of Mo Yong's men survives long enough to give a photo and say Mo Yong's last known location. He tells Lim Sung that Mo Yong told the team to scatter a week ago. Lim Sung shoots him. A little later, Jackong arrives outside the same apartment in a stolen car. She watches from a distance and sees a group of high school kids smoking nearby. She gets out, walks over, and asks for a cigarette. They laugh and make fun of her, which is bad choice. Later, Jackong lights a cigarette and heads up the stairs. In the hallway, she meets Lim Sung. Their eyes meet. Something about her face catches his attention, but he can't figure out why. Trying to act natural, Lim Sung greets her and pretends to look through his bag. Jackong thinks he is just a pushy salesman and says she's not interested, then keeps walking. Lim Sung doesn't follow her, but stays nearby, watching, still trying to remember why she looks familiar. Jackong reaches the apartment door, already damaged from the shooting. Inside, she finds bodies everywhere. Outside, Lim Sung checks his phone. New information comes in, a photo and a name. It clicks. She is the daughter of Chai Song-min, Lim Sung's former colleague. Now, she is one of his targets. He moves quickly, heading back to the hallway to catch her. But as he turns the corner, trouble appears. The high school kids from earlier are back with friends. They want revenge because Jackong beat them before. They don't recognize her clearly and think Lim Sung is one of her helpers. Before Lim Sung can explain, they attack him. He is outnumbered, grabbed, and caught off guard. In the chaos, Jackong escapes unnoticed. Later, in the parking garage, the teens lie unconscious on the floor. Lim Sung stands over them, fixing his jacket and looking annoyed. He quietly complains about wasting time on punks who attack the wrong person. Then he walks away, ready to continue hunting Jackong. Elsewhere, Director Sa shares big news. Paul has captured Director Cho. But Chief Lee tells his team to stand down. He knows fighting Paul is a lost cause. If the Americans want the item, they can have it. Director Sa asks for details about the item and why it's so important. Chief Lee finally explains it's a serum made by a Korean company. The US used it to create real super soldiers. The serum is very dangerous. It was made by a research team led by Cho himself. That's why Chief Lee wants to stay away, especially now that Cho is held in a secret prison. Face-to-face with Paul. During the questioning, Paul's men show a grim file. Everyone who worked with Cho is dead. Then, there's a photo of Professor Jonas from Sweden. He worked with Korea's Professor No on the serum project. Both are missing. Paul shows scary videos from a secret program called the Tyrant, a dangerous experiment that's hard to control. He accuses Cho of killing people to cover up. But Paul doesn't care about the deaths. He only wants the serum. Paul gives Cho a choice. Give up the Tyrant's serum, and he will forget everything else. Refuse, and Paul will kill him himself. Cho fights back. He asks why South Korea is stopped from making the same technology other countries have. Paul slams the table and says Cho can do anything he wants, just not with that serum. He adds that Cho and his team will be erased. Moments later, Paul's bodyguard Frank whispers that Mo Yong has been found. Paul smiles. With Mo Yong's information, Cho is finished. He sends a Southern NIS team to catch Mo Yong at a restaurant. He calls the authorities and sets a meeting with Chief Lee. When they meet, Mo Yong offers to surrender and cooperate. But he has conditions. First, his name must be removed from the wanted list. Second, he wants his job back at NIS headquarters. He makes both requests as part of the deal. When Director Sa hears this, he is excited. Mo Yong's information could help take down Cho. This deal is more than just cooperation. It's power in the agency's fight. Elsewhere, at Mr. Song's office, everything seems normal until he opens the door to his private room and stops. Jackong is already there, waiting calmly. Surprised, he asks how she got past security. She shrugs and says the guards never planned to stop her. Still sitting, Jackong opens a small bag and puts weapons on the desk one by one, a pistol, knives, and a blunt object. Then she looks at Mr. Song and tells him to choose how he wants to die. Mr. Song panics but tries to stay calm. He begs her and promises to talk, hoping to delay or escape. Jackong does not react. She sweeps the weapons off the desk and stares at him. Slowly, Mr. Song reaches into a drawer, pretending to get a cigarette pack. But hidden under it is a pistol. He tries to grab it, but finds it empty because Jackong already took the bullets. She asks where Mo Yong is. She knows Song, Hangum, and Mo Yong have a history. Song denies it and says they were never close. Then she asks who placed the bounty on her and who is behind it all. Song freezes, sweating and shaking. He is too scared to answer because saying the wrong name could get him killed. Before he can speak, Jackong senses danger. She moves just as gunfire hits the door, hitting Song in the chest. He falls dead immediately. Jackong quickly looks outside. All the guards in the hallway are already dead, killed silently and perfectly. As Jackong steps in the hallway, Lim Sung appears from the side, gun aimed at her head. Lim Sung greets her coldly. He knows exactly who she is and says she was supposed to be dead. That's all Jackong needs to hear. She realizes Lim Sung is the one who killed Mo Yong's men in Busan. She tells him she can still smell the gunpowder on him. Lim Sung says it's time to finish the job, including her. What he doesn't see is that Jackong already has her pistol drawn low at her waist, hidden from view. When he finally sees it, he smirks and praises her fast draw. Then, gunfire. They shoot quickly and fiercely. It's close and wild, both dodging and firing with deadly skill. Lim Sung is hit in the leg. Jackong is hit in the arm. Both rush for cover. Lim Sung dives into a nearby room, shooting back to slow her down. They are both bleeding and breathing hard. During a pause, they treat their wounds with whatever they can find. From her spot, Jackong shouted, asking if Mo Yong had been killed. From the other room, Lim Sung replied that he had not been killed yet. She breathes out. Her target is still alive. But the deadly game between them continues. Then Lim Sung's phone buzzes. A new message appears. It's an urgent order to stop fighting because there is an emergency. Jackong is needed somewhere else. Lim Sung does not hesitate. He throws his car keys into the hallway and says his leg is too badly hurt to keep fighting. He's done for now. Jackong says nothing. She picks up the keys and leaves. On the other hand, Mo Yong rides in a car with Director Sa, heading to NIS headquarters to deliver important information. Suddenly, unmarked cars surround them and start shooting. It is an ambush. Gunfire and chaos break out quickly. Reinforcements arrive. Director Paul leads the attack, supported by elite soldiers. These are not ordinary fighters. They are enhanced superhumans from the secret Tyrant Project, now sent out in public. Mo Yong becomes the main target. Director Sa pulls out his gun to protect him, but is no match. He points to Mo Yong in the backseat and says they're taking him. One of Paul's superhuman soldiers grabs the car roof and rips it open easily. Sa lowers his gun, forced to watch as Mo Yong is taken away. Before leaving, Paul gives a warning. Next, he says he will bring Director Ko's head to Chief Lee. He tells him to stay out of his way. Mo Yong is put into another car where Director Cho sits. Mo Yong scoffs bitterly. After everything he has done, he says he will be thrown away without care. Cho answers quietly, saying it was all for the country. They both knew the risks from the start. In their world, life is always on the line. Then Cho simply says thank you. Nearby, Paul hears this and laughs. To him, it is just a show. Suddenly, a car speeds toward the convoy. It is Lim Sung's car, now driven by Jackong. Paul's soldiers get ready to defend. As the car comes closer, gunfire bursts from inside. One escort vehicle explodes, flips in the air, and crashes in flames. Paul quickly realizes Lim Sung, Korea's most feared assassin, is behind the attack. Cho, calm as always, explains that Lim Sung needed money to fix his train car, so he gave him a job. Paul acts fast and sends the superhumans from the Tyrant Project. Lim Sung fires back nonstop. Some enhanced soldiers fall with head and chest shots. But seconds later, their bodies heal. Broken bones snap back, and they stand up fully recovered. Lim Sung hits the gas hard, but one enhanced soldier jumps on the car and crashes into it. The fight happens near Director Ko's secret base, hidden in an industrial area. Paul and his team launch a full attack. They break through the outer defenses. Guards are killed quickly. Automatic guns and the power of the Tyrant soldiers destroy the resistance in minutes. As the base burns, Director Cho and Mo Yong escape through a safe underground exit. Upstairs, Manager Joe watches the destruction from control room window. Then he gets a message that the encrypted steel case has finally been opened. Meanwhile, outside the facility, Frank leads a powerful attack. Every hit shakes the building. Under his command, Ko's remaining guards fall quickly. The last vault door is blown open. Inside the vault, Manager Joe opens the steel case. It is empty. Paul steps forward, looks inside, then glares at Cho fiercely. Cho is shocked. He truly believed the serum was inside. Everyone looks at Mo Yong. Under pressure, he was only following orders. Back at the crash site, the enhanced soldier Kwon searches the wreckage, but Jackong and Lim Sung are gone. Suddenly, a gunshot hits Kwon, making him fall. Jackong, hurt and bleeding, crawls out of cover, calling for Lim Sung. They must reach Mo Young quickly. Before she can move, Kwon gets up and kicks her hard to the ground. She cuts him with a knife, but it doesn't work. His body heals right away. He beats her until she can barely move. He is about to finish her when Lim Sung arrives. He fires many shots, aiming for the head. That is the key because superhumans can heal except for head wounds. Kwon finally falls for good. Lim Sung rushes to Jackong and tells her to move. But something is wrong. She touches her side and sees the serum tube she hid is broken. The Tyrant formula is now inside her body. Lim Sung's face turns pale. He is shocked. He did not know she had it. He asked where she got it. She says she never trusted Mo Young and took it as a backup. Then she asked what the serum really is. Lim Sung does not answer. He only says sorry quietly and points his gun at her. Inside the secret base, Paul is angry. He pulls his gun on Director Cho, demanding the location of the Tyrant serum. When Cho stays silent, Paul starts killing his own men one by one. Manager Joe tries to fight back, but Frank stops him easily. Cho says he doesn't know where the serum is, but Paul doesn't believe him. He decides to make Cho watch his team die before killing him last. When it is Mo Young's turn, he shouts Jackong's name. She is an expert at cracking safes and was the last person near the case. Paul turns to Cho and asks who Jackong really is. Suddenly, Lim Sung's car crashes through the gate. He shoots the guards without stopping. Jackong, still inside the car, prepares herself. She steps out and joins the battle with fast reflexes. But then Frank comes. He hits Jackong against the walls with huge strength. She takes many hits but keeps getting up. Then everything changes. Jackong grabs Frank during his attack and throws him across the room. The wall breaks on impact. Her strength is no longer normal. The Tyrant's serum has taken effect. Frank charges again, sending shockwaves through the base. Jackong meets him head-on. Meanwhile, Lim Sung fights through the base, taking down Paul's men one by one with perfect skill. Back in the vault, Paul, desperate, points his gun at Cho. But before he can shoot, Lim Sung arrives with his gun already ready. Cho knocks the gun from Paul's hand and turns the fight around. Paul warns that killing him will start a war. Cho stays calm. Lim Sung pulls the trigger and shoots Paul. Right after Paul was taken down, Mo Young tried to escape, but Lim Sung shot him without warning. Cho lost his temper, asking why that wasn't done sooner. Lim Sung calmly said it was part of the deal he made. Suddenly, the room shook and collapsed. Jackong was thrown into the chaos, landing hard but quickly standing up. Cho stared in shock. She looked different. Lim Sung confirmed that the Tyrant serum had fully merged with her. Jackong was now the Tyrant. Frank wasn't finished. He pulled out a big blade, and Jackong fought back with a metal rod. They fought fiercely. Then, black liquid from Jackong's body shot out like a weapon. She ended the fight with a powerful hit to Frank's head. He didn't get up. With her last enemy down, Jackong turned to Mo Young and killed him quickly.
없지?
But before she could react, Lim Sung raised his gun and shot her in the head. It didn't work. She stood up fully healed. Lim Sung had planned to kill her, but it was too late. The power inside her was stronger than bullets. When Jackong spoke, her voice was different. The Tyrant had taken control. She said Mo Young was dealt with. Now it was time to finish the rest. Cho realized she was not just changing, but evolving very fast. He told manager Joe to turn on the strong UV lights. Jackong screamed as the light hit her. The Tyrant inside her fought back, trying to protect her body. Lim Sung kept shooting, saying that the black blood was strong but light was its weakness. He looked at her one last time and said sorry. The Tyrant had taken over her mind, and he had no choice but to stop it. Seconds later, she stood up again, stronger and faster than before. She attacked Lim Sung, pushing him back with great power. Then she fired shots, crashing him into the base's main light source. From a distance, Director Cho watched with a smile. The Tyrant's serum had finally connected. Cho looked at his watch. Sunrise was near. He warned Jackong to run before the light hit her, reminding her that from now on, she would be hunted and belong to the state. But Jackong laughed. Soon, a strike team arrived. Cho told her to escape. She disappeared before they got there. Elsewhere, Director Sa and his team entered the wreckage. They found Lim Sung barely alive and Paul's body among the dead. Sa demanded answers, angry about the disaster and how he would explain it to the Americans. Cho told him to handle it. But Sa did not recognize the troops. Then he realized Sa had extra help from someone else. The truth came quickly. Manager Joe was killed immediately. Lim Sung fought back, shot a window, and jumped into the sea, showing again he was almost impossible to kill. But Sa was not finished. He demanded to know where the tyrant was. Cho just smiled and said they were too late. Then, as the soldiers moved in, Cho grabbed a weapon and aimed it at himself. The tyrant was gone. Their mission was a complete failure. Then, the story goes back 15 years. Late at night, an old man was fixing electronics in a messy room when the door slowly opened. A young girl from the orphanage stood outside. The man was Sean Bin, a contract killer hired by the government. The girl was Jackong. He let her come in, gave her a warm meal, and little by little, the tired and broken girl found a home with him. It turns out Jackong was not just an ordinary orphan. She had already been part of experiments. That is why the tyrant's serum accepted her easily. And with that, the story ended. So the moral of the story is, never trust anyone, especially if they offer you coffee or a safe from Sweden, because it probably ends with betrayal or becoming a rage-powered mutant with sunlight allergies.